Part 65. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 641. Lu Yu couldn't help shouting, his face turned red. Hearing this, the old man smiled. Don't tell me, it really tastes a bit like that. Sprinkle some cumin on it and bake it over the fire. It will be crispy. Lu Yu. He said that he seemed to have fallen into a trap. The old man snorted coldly. You kid, you have time to talk nonsense with me here, why don't you hurry up and refine the essence? Oh, okay. Lu Yu immediately began to absorb the essence of divine blood. Wisp after strand of golden substance was refined and entered Lu Yu's body through the pores all over his body. It's an amazing feeling. The golden substance is repairing his body, but outside, his body is constantly being destroyed. It's simply, the two heavens of ice and fire. And the benefits are quite obvious. Lu Yu's aura was rising crazily. In just a moment, he once again entered the forbidden realm. The space cracks were torn apart at some point. Are you looking for death? A voice came through the crack in space. The old man sneered again and again. This has nothing to do with you. As he spoke, he clapped his hands casually. The next moment, the space cracks healed. Finally, a hint of indifference came out. Don't try to actually break free. Lu Yu looked at all this, took a deep breath, and continued to absorb these golden substances without saying anything else. The old man also yawned and waited peacefully beside him. Time passes. In the blink of an eye, more than half a month has passed. During this time, the gold in the barrel became increasingly thinner. In the end, it has become a bucket of clean water. Lu Yu soaked in it and closed his eyes tightly. The whole person is filled with a mysterious aura. Looking with your eyes, he is indeed in the barrel. But if you feel it, it disappears. It's like it doesn't exist. Break away from the order. Opening his eyes, Lu Yu's eyes flashed with golden light. Now, everything in Lu Yu's eyes seemed to be empty. At this moment, the old man suddenly slapped Lu Yu. Lu Yu instantly understood the power of law in his palm and disintegrated it instantly. Boom! The old man's palm turned into star power and collapsed. Good. The old man opened his mouth to praise. Lu Yu looked confused. What's going on? Don't you know what's going on? Stepping into the Forbidden Realm means that to a certain extent, you are no longer in the realm of Star-Lord. All Star-Lord level tricks have loopholes in your eyes. These words surprised Lu Yu a little. Doesn't that mean I'm invincible at the Star-Lord level? Certainly. The old man nodded, which made Lu Yu couldn't help but feel happy. This invincibility is truly invincible. In his eyes, everything at the Star-Lord level is nothing more than this. And what he can exert is the ultimate Star Master level combat power. He casually slapped a palm towards a big mountain. The next moment, the mountain thousands of meters high collapsed. And Lu Yu has never used even a hint of Star Source power. What is used is just the application of Star-Lord level laws. This power is so amazing. Lu Yu was so happy that he simply started practicing on the spot. But he hadn't practiced for long before the old man came over. Be civilized, okay? Lu Yu. You just practice martial arts. Why are you dragging a whip around? Don't you see something is wrong with the sows over there? The old man looked unhappy. Lu Yu. Lu Yu put on his clothes calmly. The old man shook his head. If you ask me, you must have changed. You really need to cut it shorter. Impossible, this is a man's dignity. Lu Yu immediately shook his head. Are you kidding? Is it okay to cut it shorter? I have to spend money to buy a belt. Save if you can. Regarding Lu Yu's words, the old man smiled and said nothing. Calculate the time carefully, it's almost time outside. What's the same? Lu Yu's expression became confused. The old man glanced at him and narrowed his eyes. The descendants of those things are coming out soon. This. Lu Yu thought of Yu. I'm afraid it will be difficult to fight. That's true, but I think it's possible for you. The old man smiled and patted Lu Yu's shoulder, then tore apart the space. Okay, you can go away and don't disturb my retreat. With that said, Lu Yu was kicked into the space crack. Before leaving, Lu Yu did not forget to wave. Old man, see you again when you have the chance. Let's talk about it when you really get the chance. With that said, the space cracks were completely healed. The old man looked at Lu Yu's leaving figure and smacked his mouth. Whether it's possible or not is a mystery. Lu Yu was on his way back. Great Wall. The entire Great Wall was shaking. A flash of fire soared into the sky. A three-legged golden crow screamed and flew into space, as if it was about to turn into a sun. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 642. And Yu was right in the position of the forehead of this golden crow, with his eyes closed. A terrifying aura was spreading over him, as if he was trying to break free of some shackles. On the Great Wall, countless super-galaxy clusters' general domain masters looked up at the sky. This time, it will succeed. The chance is very high. If you can step into the forbidden area, we will have a chance. Many general domain masters discussed. Only the figure standing in the front stared at the sky with a solemn expression. General Town Envoy, is the formation ready? My lord, it is ready. Okay, he is about to step into that area. Almost at the moment when this voice fell, Yu's aura suddenly began to rise in the sky. In an instant, he entered an extraordinary level. It is a Star Master, but not a Star Master. Forbidden area. I don't know who shouted it out first. In an instant, everyone was boiling. Even though they are the general domain masters, they are the ultimate existence. But, no one has ever seen this area. It's just a legend, no one has ever done it. And now, they succeeded. But they didn't feel happy for long, and a space crack tore. Again and again, you are looking for death. The rotten hand stretched out and slapped Yu directly. At this moment, the figure in the front soared into the sky and roared. Stop it! The moment he spoke, his power exploded. The whole Great Wall seemed to be shaking because of this great power. Above the ultimate, it is the supreme. Boom! Endless space collapsed. Countless space fragments turned into a long sword, slashing towards the rotten hand. At the same time, the 20 general domain masters below were also roaring. Join forces to attack the rotten hand. Further down, the whole Great Wall was shaking. A female phantom solidified at this moment, and her slender wrist swung a sword, also heading towards the rotten hand. Facing all this, the owner of the rotten hand just snorted coldly. It's meaningless. Boom! A dark light enveloped the hand. The next moment, the space-long sword, the 20 general domain masters joined forces to strike, including the sword energy, all annihilated instantly. And the three-legged golden crow was even more defeated. Yu spit out a large mouthful of blood, and the whole person's spirit seemed to be stripped away, and fell down. I said it, there is no chance. Chapter 04860ism wins, Lu Yu returns. Yu landed, and the rotten hand in the space crack retreated. The entire Great Wall was a scene of heavy casualties. Even the Great Wall itself, at this moment, had countless cracks. All the general domain masters looked dazed. Still, not working. 20 super galaxy clusters joined forces, plus a supreme, even including the power of the moon god. Still not working. Everyone's eyes were vaguely dazed. At this moment, they seemed to be somewhat desperate. Yu lay on the ground, coughing up blood and laughing. You didn't listen to my advice, and now you have suffered a great loss. How many people in history wanted to set foot in this field? Even that person was like this, but he still failed. No one can defeat him within the rules. You spat out another mouthful of blood. At this time, beside him, Shi Lao appeared at some point. His eyes looked at the figure in the front. Yuan Xiao, you don't have to toss. What do you mean? The figure looked back at Shi Lao. Shi Lao shook his head. There is no chance. It's not just you who are trying. Other super galaxy clusters have also tried together, but they all failed. Wait, the descendants of those beings will come in a few days, and then it will be a foregone conclusion. Silence. There was a long silence on the entire Great Wall. The existence called Yuan Xiao glanced outside the Great Wall, his eyes were dazed. Are you all going to die? Yes, everyone. The Zero Association has used several epochs to prove the significance of its existence. A smile appeared on Shi Lao's face. Even you climbed up. Yes, Zeroism has won. Silence. The surroundings fell into silence for a long time. Many of the general domain masters left here without saying a word. Only the figure called Yuan Xiao stood on the Great Wall for a long time without leaving. Seeing this, Shi Lao shook his head. Sure enough, if you don't give up until the last moment, the black hole will soon burst, and the existence that comes out at that time will make the whole universe tremble. The truth can't be concealed. Zeroing cannot be stopped. Are you sure you want to become the sinner of the whole universe? Yuan Xiao looked back at Shi Lao. Shi Lao smiled. If possible, I think our Zero Association is honored to be the sinner. Yes. Yuan Xiao didn't speak again, like a statue fixed on the wall. Shi Lao took you away. Everything is meaningless. No one knows what happened at the frontier of the universe. Blue star. After Lu Yu came back, he immediately checked the time. Half a month. Damn. I stayed in there for half a month. Lu Yu was shocked and immediately started to check the latest interstellar news. But what made him relieved was the worst outcome seems to have not happened yet. When I went downstairs, there were still some leftovers on the table. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 643. Xiaoling. Lu Yu pinched the face of Lu Ling, who was taking a nap. But the next moment, Lu Ling's reaction was surprisingly big. Are you Lu Yu? You don't call me brother anymore. I'm Xiao 11. Xiao 11 stared at Lu Yu with a puzzled look. Lu Yu. I must admit that after Xiao 11 put on blue star clothes, Lu Yu was really confused. Where's Xiaoling? Lu Yu asked. Xiao 11 frowned. Sister Xiaoling went to Orion College. She also said that you lied to her again and asked me to wait for you here. Lu Yu. Okay, I have to admit that I am indeed a little clever again. Feeling a little guilty in his heart, Lu Yu looked at Xiao 11. Well, I have to go out again. Can you help me say sorry to Xiaoling? Sure. Xiao 11 nodded her head. Hearing this, Lu Yu felt relieved. I also want to go to Orion College to see Xiaoling. But, time waits for no one. I have to go see Yu. I don't know what's going on with that guy. I don't even know when the descendants of those beings outside the Great Wall will arrive. You must stop them. This is just the first test. Once it is determined that the current universe has truly reached its end, the real catastrophe is coming. Without stopping, Lu Yu got on the ancient boat and rushed towards the Yunyu clan. After half a day passed, Lu Yu arrived at Yunmen Star. Without any hesitation, Lu Yu got off the boat. "Prince-in-law, are you here again?" The guard was obviously very happy to see Lu Yu and led Lu Yu towards the Yunyu clan. After a while, Lu Yu saw Dakiao Leiju. "Okay. You bastard scumbag disappeared for so long, and you finally dare to come back, right?" Dakiao Leiju was so angry that Lu Yu had no time to make trouble with her. "Where's Yu? Huh? No more love. You came back for a man?" Ahashi Reika cried. "Lu Yu. Don't make trouble, I have important things to do." "Well, it seems you are in a good mood again. Yu is gone." "Don't ask me, I don't know where he went." "Lu Yu." He fell silent. "Don't tell me, where is Yu going to the Great Wall again?" "Grass." "Lu Yu, what's wrong with you? You look very ugly." Dakiao Leiju looked confused, and Lu Yu waved his hand. "It's okay. Is there any big news recently?" Lu Yu looked at Dakiao Leiju. Ahashi Reika looked surprised. "What's the big news?" "It's news that I haven't heard before." "Never heard of it?" "Let me think about it." "No, Lu Yu, you are news in yourself. You are so long that you are almost no longer human, bullwhip." "Lu Yu." Seeing Lu Yu's increasingly unfriendly expression, Dakiao Leiju swallowed his saliva. Yes, I just heard that a giant black hole suddenly appeared in a super galaxy cluster far away from me. And judging from the trend, that super galaxy cluster will be swallowed up by the black hole in a short time." Hearing this, Lu Yu's heart instantly sank to the bottom of the valley. "That's almost it? Black hole. Will they come out of the black hole?" Lu Yu's expression changed uncertainly. At this moment, outside, a head of colorful hair appeared. "It's such a mess. I almost died. It's been a long time since the bridge came. Has my brother come back?" Yu broke in and was stunned when he saw Lu Yu. "Am I dazzled?" With that said, Yu stepped back and opened the door again. After seeing it was Lu Yu, he instantly became excited. "It's really you, brother Digging. I have good news for you. This universe is really hopeless." Chapter 0487. Yuyu's words, the super galaxy cluster disappears. "This universe is really hopeless." When saying this, Yu looked very excited. Lu Yu's eyelids twitched. "How to say? Ha ha ha, come on, let's come over and talk slowly." Yu pulled Lu Yu to move aside. "After looking at the bridge for a long time, I became dissatisfied. Is there anything I can't hear? What do you want to hear about male anatomy?" Yu looked confused. "Reiku Ahashi? I want to listen, I'm curious." Ahashi Reiku happily joined him. Yu. He fell silent. Lu Yu smiled and disappeared with Yu. "You two bitches are having an affair behind my back again." Ahashi Reiku was furious when he saw this scene. But Lu Yu didn't care about this. "How is the situation?" Lu Yu asked in an uninhabited corner. Yu smiled happily. "It seems your situation has improved. How are you? Are you desperate?" "Without Yu. Aren't you already desperate?" Yu felt that he was a bit stupid. Hearing this, Lu Yu said nothing. "Stop talking so much nonsense, let's get straight to the point. How is the situation?" Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 644. That's the situation. Yu spread his hands. "They gathered the power of 20 super galaxy clusters to push me into the forbidden area. By the way, do you know the forbidden area? It's so awesome." Yu explained the forbidden area to Lu Yu for 20 minutes, and finally said something. "Hey, you won't understand even if I say too much. It was really cool at the moment I just entered." Yu had an expression of endless aftertaste on his face. A smile gradually appeared on Lu Yu's face. Then what? Then it was gone. The forbidden area is a non-existent area. There was a terrifying existence at the end of the Great Wall. I was seriously injured and fell down again. Yu spread his hands helplessly, but it's okay. It's the right way to make them give up completely and join our Zero Association. Yu tempted again. Lu Yu frowned when he heard it. When will the descendants of those other strange beings be born? Right now, the black hole of the Winghorn supercluster is already in the growth stage. After a while, it will completely devour the supercluster, and the first portal will be opened. After pondering for a while, Lu Yu asked. Behind the black hole is their lair. Almost. You can understand it this way. The strange creatures cannot cross the Great Wall for the time being and can only come through the black hole. The matter swallowed by the black hole will also be transformed into nutrients for the new world in the future. When the black hole swallows the entire universe, the new world will completely come. Yu talked freely, but soon, he covered his mouth. You braggart has revealed the big secret. Lu Yu's mood was somewhat heavy. Is the black hole the hub connecting the inside and outside of the Great Wall? Lu Yu had guessed this a long time ago, but he had never confirmed it. At the beginning, the ancient land of the Galaxy Mansion was pulled into the black hole. Now it seems that it was completely intentional. There are too many black holes in the universe. Everything made Lu Yu shudder. Yu patted Lu Yu on the shoulder. It's nothing, don't think too much, just wait for death honestly, maybe join our Zero Association and do big things together. Forget it, I'm really not interested in your big things. Then there's nothing I can do. Yu shrugged. In a few days, the descendants of those weird beings will probably come. After they kill all the younger generation, the universe will really start to die slowly, unless... Unless what? Lu Yu looked at Yu. Yu smiled. Unless someone can stop them, if there is a being in the universe that has reached the Forbidden Realm, if he does not die, the entire universe cannot enter the new world. There is a loophole in the order and it must be eliminated. But the problem is that all the rules of the existing universe are under control. How can you step into the Forbidden Realm? Once you step in, you will be killed. This is also the reason why they tried their best to push me into the Forbidden Realm. In fact, this is also what the entire universe is doing. It's a pity that they all failed. Yu's tone was a little sighing. Lu Yu narrowed his eyes when he heard this. According to you, as long as there are creatures who have entered the Forbidden Realm, they will stop, right? That's about it? Yu nodded, and this made Lu Yu breathe a sigh of relief. Then it's okay. It's really okay. Just wait for death. How about going to the red light district with me today? You are going to die, so you have to experience it. Yu bewitched. Hearing this, Lu Yu kicked him directly. Get lost. Okay, what are you going to do now? That's what I want to ask you. As for me, I'm probably going to be sent out by them in a while to fight with the descendants of those weird beings. Whether I can survive is still a question. Yu shook his head with emotion. Hearing this, Lu Yu laughed. Don't worry, I will definitely burn paper money for you then. You might as well go and play with me now. It's boring, I'm leaving, there's something going on in the association. As he said that, Yu looked at the smart brain in his hand. Okay, see you that day. Well, Feng Chu, I'll leave first. Yu waved his hand and left. Lu Yu watched Yu leave, his eyes looking at the starry sky. Descend. All, massacre. In the following period of time, Lu Yu did almost nothing, just stayed in the Yunyu clan. Chat with Dakiao Leiju when he had nothing to do, and watched Dakiao Weiju's new movie. The days seemed to pass by so uneventfully, until this day, the entire supercluster was shaken. An invisible wave spread across the universe. The stars were dim, and the stars were without light. Everyone could truly sense that a breath that did not belong to this universe had appeared. In the dark, it seemed that something disappeared. Liu Yu looked in a certain direction in the starry sky, as if he had crossed billions of light years in an instant, crossed the light cone, and saw everything. The vast Winghorn supercluster disappeared, and the moment before hundreds of billions of stars fell into the black hole, they burst out with the brightest light in their lives. Endless lives are disappearing, and no matter how powerful a warrior is, he cannot resist the gravity of the black hole. Matter has returned to the atomic state. When everything is dark, black fog is everywhere, and a hand stretches out from the center of the black hole. Here it comes. Chapter 0488 Power Beyond the Rules, Countdown of the Universe. Winghorn Supercluster. The supercluster that originally occupied hundreds of millions of light-years here has disappeared and turned into a giant black hole. A hand stretched out from the black hole. Then, the whole body. Is this the world of cockroaches? It's full of dirty breath. A young figure appeared in a black fog. Soon, two more figures appeared behind him. Finally here. I doubt if there are any living beings in this world. A man and a woman appeared at the same time, and they looked at the man in the front. Gee, where are we going now? It's quite simple, we can start nearby. The black fog creature called G sneered. The next moment, the three groups of black fog disappeared. In the entire universe, except for a few people, no one knew that the turmoil was about to begin. The Great Wall. Hundreds of terrifying figures had gathered here without knowing when. Before them, it was Yuan Xiao. My lord, they have appeared. A general domain master looked at Yuan Xiao. Hearing this, Yuan Xiao was quiet for a moment, his eyes silent. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 645. Which supercluster did you go to? The Abyssal Supercluster. A general domain master stood up. He is located in the Pingyuan Super Galaxy Cluster. Everyone's eyes were filled with pity. The one who is targeted first will probably not end well. In response, Yuan Xiao sighed and closed his eyes tightly in pain. In addition to our Super Galaxy Cluster Union, what is the situation in other Super Galaxy Cluster Unions? Sir, I'm afraid the result will be very bad. Some supercluster complexes no longer exist. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding area became even quieter. Are there already supercluster complexes that no longer exist? That is a giant celestial body united by at least 10 super galaxy clusters. Once it is destroyed, at least tens of millions of galaxies will be involved. The lives affected are even more unimaginable. Maybe, the worst situation has come. Go according to the original plan, we must at least slow them down, Yuan Xiao sighed. After hearing this, the surroundings were quiet for a moment, and someone made a sound. What about the Zeroing Association? They are already experimenting with the zeroing plan in some unmanned galaxies. What's the result? Returning to zero was successful, but there didn't seem to be any weird presence to stop it. They don't care. Yuan Xiao shook his head. Several general domain owners hesitated. Sir, are we going to join Project Zero? It depends. For now, stick to the original plan. As soon as the words fell, everyone disappeared on the Great Wall. The Abyssal Supercluster. This is a supergalaxy cluster object that is similar to a sphere in shape. It is composed of 300 galaxy groups and tens of thousands of galaxies. Even among supergalaxy clusters, it is considered a giant. At this moment, a black mist was approaching. Zi, is this the so-called supergalaxy cluster? It is full of decay. In the dark mist, a young man walked out. He has a pair of black eyes and a face that is beyond ordinary people's imagination. His whole body was so perfect that it almost seemed like it didn't exist. Behind him, a man and a woman appeared. "Sir, is this our first target?" "Almost, our assigned mission area covers this place." The young man's expression was indifferent. But at this moment, the situation ahead was distorted. Yuan Xiao and dozens of general domain masters appeared. "You must follow our rules." Yuan Xiao looked at the young man and said coldly. The young man laughed. "A very powerful cockroach. You're looking for death." Yuan Xiao was furious, and light burst out from his eyes, instantly falling on the young man. The terrifying power that was enough to destroy the ultimate existence directly defeated the young man into black mist. But just a moment later, the black mist condensed the young man's body again. What a small and pathetic power. The ability the Lord has given us is far beyond your imagination, ha ha ha. The young man didn't take Yuan Xiao seriously at all, he laughed and mocked. Behind him, a man and a woman looked equally contemptuously. This makes everyone feel despair and pain. Power beyond the rules. Within the rules, it has no effect on the other party. This is true even if the realm is far beyond. Yuan Xiao's expression didn't change at all. He looked at the three of them expressionlessly and spoke word by word. "This is not your territory yet, the rules are still there." As soon as he finished speaking, a crack appeared in the space next to him. Yuan Xiao suppressed several people and was about to send them into the black hole. At this time, the young man spoke up. "Wait, I think we can talk." The young man still couldn't sit still. "If you are forced to return, it will be a bit troublesome if you want to come back." When Yuan Xiao heard this, his eyes narrowed. "I still say that, follow our rules." "What are your rules?" "It's been agreed upon a long time ago. I hope you will abide by it." "It's easy to talk. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ji." Ji smiled and reached out to Yuan Xiao. Yuan Xiao never even glanced at it. "No need to play these little tricks with me." "That's such a pity." Ji stopped his hand and swallowed the drop of black blood in his mouth. The black mist around him suddenly became darker. "Hiss, it's an intoxicating feeling, the new world is waving to us." Ji smiled sickly and looked at Yuan Xiao happily. "Then follow the rules agreed before. I hope you won't break the contract, haha. Otherwise, the destruction of certain places is the best warning. Don't think that we are the only ones who can come here." After saying this, Ji disappeared. "Finally, I would like to remind you that in 3 days, I will meet someone. According to the rules, if you lose, then this area will belong to the new world." Looking at the disappearing black mist, Yuan Xiao narrowed his eyes. Next to them, many general domain masters felt heavy. According to the original plan, all geniuses who meet the requirements can be sent to the arena of the Wing Angle Super Galaxy Cluster. Yuan Xiao's voice was quite calm. These geniuses he was talking about were truly elite. They do not belong to any big clan, but are a group of geniuses who were personally trained and selected by the various general domain lords a long time ago. Originally, it was planned that these geniuses would obtain inheritance and try to step into the Forbidden Realm. Unfortunately, none of them had the chance to do so. So, there was the previous trip to the Great Wall. Blood was drawn from each superclusters, and only one person was successful among 10,000 people. That is Yu. But Yu also failed. At present, it is just the last desperate resistance to delay time. Many general domain masters looked ashen. "My lord, should we announce this news to the public?" Finally, someone asked this question. In the past, there was still a glimmer of hope, so it was concealed. And now, the real dead end has come. What should we do? Facing this question, Yuan Xiao shook his head. "Give this world the last bit of peace." Without saying much, Yuan Xiao disappeared. Seeing this, other general domain masters left one after another. This universe has begun to enter the countdown. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yoon Jeon Shui. Chapter 646. Chapter 0489 Engine Injection, Zeroing Plan. Yunya Clan. Yu appeared again and found Lu Yu with a haggard expression. Brother, here we come. I know. Lu Yu nodded. Yu gave him a slightly surprised look. How do you know? Guess. Okay. Yu waved his hand and poured himself a large glass of water. What a bastard. I feel like I'm really going to die. They're definitely going to send me up there to delay time. Damn it. If you think about it carefully, I am dead to both my left and my right. When I was in the space crack, I should have known I would never get out, so how could I have messed with you? Yu cursed, but there was no fear on his face. Dakiao Leiju came over and looked at Yu with an unhappy expression. Why are you so nervous? The world is going to end. Do you think I should be nervous? TCH, you're lying. Lu Yu, I'll take you to see that my pet Charizard has given birth to a baby. Dakiao Leiju happily hugged a small fire-breathing dragon, and before she could show it off, Yu snatched it away. Squeeze the belly of the little fire-breathing dragon, and the next moment, it opens its mouth and spits out a ball of flame. Yu took out a very exaggerated cigar and it was immediately lit. Phew, it feels good. Yu blew out the smoke into his hair, and suddenly his colorful hair began to smoke. Daqiao was very angry when he saw this. Teppan Squid, what are you doing? Smoke. Don't smoke in my place. Oh okay. Saying that, Yu took a deep breath. The next moment, the entire cigar burned out at an extremely fast speed, and a large amount of smoke was inhaled by Yu. Suddenly, his mouth, nose, and ears began to smoke. How are you, Fengxia, Niu? Yu was talking and blowing smoke. Lu Yu glanced at his butt and felt a little silent. Can you please stop farting? That's called engine jet smoke. Yu said, exerting force on his abdomen and squirting more. In an instant, Lu Yu gave him a kick. Yu. A few minutes later, Yu crawled back, cursing. I shouldn't have bet that it was a fart. Lu Yu. Stay away from me. This time, Lu Yu was kicked several thousand meters away and flew into a pond. Ahashi Reiku's eyes widened. Lu Yu, I'll keep the fish in the pond. I hope the fish is okay. Half an hour later, Yu crawled back. What the hell are you, raising piranhas? Yu pulled a fish off his butt, and blood started to flow immediately. Seeing this scene, Lu Yu expressed deep regret. I feel sorry for the piranha. I thought it was edible, but I didn't expect it to be poisonous. Yu. He dried all the moisture from his body and looked at Lu Yu. Forget it, I won't talk nonsense to you. I have something important to ask you. Will you go? What's up? Come here and I'll tell you. Yu moved closer to Lu Yu. Lu Yu raised his ears in doubt. The next moment, he was kicked away by Yu. Just say it properly. Why are you blowing into my ear? Who are you trying to seduce? Okay. You two really have an affair. Dakiao Leiju was shocked. Yu rubbed his butt and walked over with difficulty. Don't make trouble, Lu Yu, I really have something to tell you. Say. Lu Yu frowned. Yu glanced at the bridge next to him. Can you please give me a moment? Roll. Ahashi Reiku slammed the door angrily and left. Seeing this, Yu felt relieved and looked at Lu Yu with a proud face. Lu Yu, Our return to zero plan is about to officially begin. Lu Yu. What's the meaning? Project zero, return the universe to zero. Lu Yu. He was somewhat silent. Are you really sure that the universe is hopeless? Lu Yu couldn't help but ask. Yu nodded. It's necessary. After repeated demonstrations, we have indeed proven that the universe is complete. Now we have begun the experimental phase of the zero plan. Yu was extremely excited. This plan was finalized several epochs ago. It has been proven generation after generation and it is absolutely flawless. If you do this, isn't it the self-destruction of all creatures in the universe? You can understand that, but our zero association is not as superficial as you think. It's better to have broken jade than complete tiles. As soon as these words came out, Lu Yu's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? You'll find out after you come and see. Yu spread his hands. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. Ken. Come on, let's go now. So, Lu Yu and Yu left in Dakiao Leiju's rage. Where are you going to shoot field artillery again? Take me with you. Sanfei. Outside the Yunmen Galaxy Group, Lu Yu and Yu got on a small boat. The cross-domain boat, sit tight, the speed may be a bit fast, Yu said. Lu Yu nodded. And at the next moment, there was no time for him to think more. In an instant, the wooden boat distorted time and space and disappeared directly in place. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 647. Half an hour later, the boat finally stopped. The surrounding scene returned to normal. Lu Yu's expression was a little surprised. How? Judging from my own perception, in just half an hour, I and Yu have definitely crossed half of the super galaxy cluster? This speed is shocking. In response, Yu smiled proudly. This is a divine treasure left over from the last era. We can't reveal more about it? That's it? After saying that, Lu Yu put his hand on the wooden boat and copied it. Is this not allowed to be replicated? Copy. Ding. Host, the copy points are not enough. That's the number of free copies. The number of free copies is 0. Lu Yu. Gen. I forgot about the last time I copied the old man's token, it was all spent. Lu Yu was in pain inside, but on the surface Lu Yu was calm. Fine. I feel pretty good too. Yu laughed loudly and led Lu Yu forward. As Lu Yu walked away, he frantically asked the system if it was deducting his copy points. But the system refused to acknowledge it, so Lu Yu had no choice but to look around. By the way, where are we? Lu Yu couldn't help but wonder. Hearing this, Yu smiled. Tianwu's system. Tianwu's system? Lu Yu was stunned and quickly thought of something. That lost galaxy. Yes, speaking of which, it's still from your galaxy group. Yu spread his hands. Lu Yu hesitated. What are you doing here? This is the best place to experiment with the zero plan. It's an uninhabited area and it happens to be full of weirdness. Yu said, clapping his hands as he spoke. Elders, that's it? The next moment, 9 old men walked out of the void next to them. Chapter 0490 Gui Ling Tian Martial Arts Department, a strange existence appears. The 9 elders of the Gizhu Association. Lu Yu's expression was a little surprised. The 9 elders came out together. What did the Gui Ling Association want to do? Yu patted Lu Yu on the shoulder. We have arranged it a long time ago, you just rushed to watch the show now. Lu Yu, I know you have a big misunderstanding about our Gui Ling Association, but in fact, you are wrong. Mr. Shi looked at Lu Yu with a smile. Lu Yu frowned but said nothing. Yu pulled Lu Yu back onto the boat and quickly retreated. He didn't stop until the Tianwu system became a long object occupying half of Lu Yu's field of vision. What on earth are you doing? Just watch. Yu Yu took out a bottle of hairspray and sprayed it on his hair. The noise may be a bit loud later, so your hair can't be messed up. Lu Yu, what do you want? Roll. Don't listen to the old man's advice. Yu Yu hummed and hurriedly sprayed himself with hairspray again. Lu Yu's eyes were looking into the distance. The 9 elders spread out, standing in 9 different directions. This scene made Lu Yu's eyes become more confused. Yu Yu was extremely excited. It's about to start, keep your eyes open and don't blink. Yu Yu's words cheered up Lu Yu. In the distance, the bodies of the 9 elders suddenly emitted light, and powerful auras were fluctuating. What shocked Lu Yu was the pressure on them was no less than what the old man's consciousness brought to him. Very scary. I'm afraid, in addition to their title of Elders of the Gizhu Association, they themselves are also one of the top powerhouses in the universe. Lu Yu thought so in his heart. And in the palms of the 9 elders, a ball of milky white light was gestating at this moment. It doesn't look big, just about the size of a human head. The next moment, these 9 rays of light were pushed out together and merged into one. Boom! An extremely bright light burst out. Lu Yu's eyes stung, but he did not close his eyes. The eye of divine sight was activated, and the white light in his eyes was fixed. The white light is expanding and contracting. It's like wandering between 2 extremes. The next moment, it headed towards the Tianwu department. Endless lines are emerging. White threads suddenly appeared one after another in the entire Tianwu system. These white threads are flashing with the light group. Tens of thousands of light years of space were split apart at this moment. The entire space of the Tianwu department seemed to be shattered at this moment. BSI, destroyed it all. What shocked Lu Yu the most was these white threads seem to be diffracting, and their number is increasing, splitting the broken space more carefully. All materials in the Tianwu system were shattered into pieces at this moment. The white threads are proliferating, space is falling towards smaller units, and the same is true for matter. At this moment, Lu Yu suddenly understood what the Guiling Association wanted to do. They are trying to destroy the entire universe in this barbaric way. Let all matter collapse and flow into the void. In fact, it was just as Lu Yu thought. After the number of white silk threads reached a certain level, the entire Tianwu system turned into a white light. Stars disappear and planets are destroyed. Matter is returning to its most primitive atomic state, and is then brutally swallowed up by the turbulence of the void. Yu Yu was already very proud. How about Lu Yu, isn't this a good move? Lu Yu was a little silent and didn't know how to answer. In fact, this is a tragedy. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 648. This is the last resort. It is better to die in glory than to live in disgrace. It completely cuts off the retreat. But it is okay, at least this is the only way to affect those strange existences. And before Lu Yu could breathe a sigh of relief, the next moment, black fog covered everything. The Tianwu system, which originally burst into brilliant light, was shrouded in black fog at this moment, and stared to try to hinder the process. A hideous face appeared in the black fog covering the entire Tianwu system, looking at everyone coldly. Puff. In an instant, the 9 elders of the Zero Association spit out a large mouthful of blood. In their horrified eyes, the Tianwu system that had disappeared unexpectedly appeared again. It was completely restored. It can't even be seen that it had been destroyed. This scene made Lu Yu's eyes widen on the spot. Yu Yu was even stunned. How is this possible? Instead of struggling to death, it is better to wait for the advent of the new world. The face in the black fog seemed extremely happy. After sneering, it left directly. Lu Yu's back was already soaked with sweat. Just now, he thought that this strange existence was going to make a move. But no one expected that it would actually leave. Why is this happening? Yu stared at the restored Tianwu system with lifeless eyes, and the whole person was stunned. The 9 elders of the Zero Association were all seriously injured. The other party did not make a move, but they were injured just at the moment of appearance. The whole process was forcibly restored. This is an almost unimaginable method. No chance, cough cough. Old Shi exhaled, his face was ashen. The same is true for others. The entire Zero Association has fought for several epochs, and everything that has been precisely calculated is still under the control of others. I finally understand what that person said in the last era. What does that mean? We all live in their rules. Shi Lao's words made everyone quiet. Yu's eyes were incomparably trance. The doctrine that he regarded as a treasure, the purpose of passing on several eras. At this moment, it was shattered. The other party even disdained to kill himself and others. In their eyes, all this is meaningless. Playing NM, really playing NM. Playing for several eras, still playing in the palm of someone else's hand. Yu couldn't help but roar. Seeing this, Lu Yu sighed and comforted. Calm down. Can't calm down. Lu Yu. He didn't know what to say. I'm afraid that Yu's current mood is exactly the same as his mood after he knew the truth. The only difference is, he had given up hope a long time ago, and was thinking about how to fight the other party. And now, the truth is in front of the entire Zero Association. Everything they worked hard for is nothing in the eyes of those beings. Lu Yu couldn't help but sigh. Where is the future? Yu left, and before leaving, he told Lu Yu that he was going to the Winghorn supergalaxy cluster, and then he would find the descendants of those weird beings and fight to death there. In response, Lu Yu patted his chest and told him that he would burn a lot of paper money for him to use next time. Lu Yu, you are really my good brother, remember to burn more, there is already inflation down there, I'm afraid it won't be enough. Don't worry, I will burn a few beauties for you. Okay, I'll go first. Yu waved his hand and left with the 9 elders of the Zero Association. Before leaving, he generously gave the wooden boat to Lu Yu. In his words, people are going to die, there is no point in keeping it. In response, Lu Yu smiled and watched him leave, and his smile gradually subsided. Staring at the restored Tianwu system in the distance, Lu Yu's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Come on. Even if I can't deal with you big guys, it's still no problem to kill the small ones. With a cold look, Lu Yu left here. Chapter 0491 Lu Yu's plan illuminates the entire universe. Lu Yu left here. He didn't know what he was going to do, maybe to say goodbye. According to Yu, once there are creatures in this universe that have entered the Forbidden Realm, the new world cannot be opened. The process will be interrupted. And what he has to do is to tell those strange beings outside the Great Wall. This universe has given birth to forbidden creatures. There is almost no need to think about it, they will definitely find a way to strangle themselves at that time. Maybe they themselves will not take action, and they cannot take action against themselves. Because I do not belong to the rules, they can't kill me. But, others can kill. Promising a quota for a new world, Lu Yu believes that there should be many people in this universe who are willing to kill me. No matter what era, no matter where, there are such people. And all he can do is hide. If he lives one day, this universe can exist one more day. This is Lu Yu's plan. If he can sacrifice himself, in exchange for the continuation of the entire universe. Lu Yu thought about it, it seems worth it. After all, if he doesn't do this, he will still die in the end. Sacrificing the small self for the greater self and fighting for a name that will last forever seems to be possible. Lu Yu looked at the boundless starry sky, shook his head and smiled bitterly. This is bullshit. I played such a big game with the Emperor Fuxi, but in the end, I am the only Star Master dragging the pace? Brother, the crystal is going to explode. Don't get lost in the wild area. It's hard to fight 5 people alone. Feeling depressed, Lu Yu rushed to the Orion Academy. I promised Xiaoling that I would send her off. It's a pity that I didn't send her off. But it's not bad to come and see it before the possible departure. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 649. Entering the Orion Academy, there is not much change here. Amidst the shocked eyes along the way, Lu Yu came to the small courtyard in a familiar way. Dong dong. Lu Yu knocked on the door. Come in. A crisp voice came out. Lu Yu pushed open the door, and Mu Qing was watering the flowers in the yard. Hongfei, I said, Xiaoling is very naughty, you have to spend more time teaching her, Mu Qing said without turning his head. Lu Yu couldn't help laughing when he heard it. Dean Mu, you care about my sister? Lu Yu. Mu Qing turned around and looked at Lu Yu with surprise. You are not dead. Okay, I am not dead. Lu Yu spread his hands. Mu Qing looked happy. It's good that you are okay. We heard the notice from the Galaxy Mansion before, and we thought you were really dead. Hongfei was sad for a long time because of this. Lu Yu. When he mentioned Hongfei, he struggled in his heart. Should I go and see her? No way. What if she was raped? But if I don't see her, I won't be able to see her if I really start my life of escape. Lu Yu was vomiting blood in his heart. Mu Qing laughed. Lu Yu, are you here to see Xiaoling? Yes, Dean Mu, how is Xiaoling doing in the academy? Lu Yu asked. Mu Qing nodded. She has the same talent as you, but she is a girl, and she is more popular with the elders in the academy than you. Okay, sex discrimination. Lu Yu pouted. Mu Qing laughed even more happily. It's good that you are here. I'll let the elders come to see you. This is a good thing. Mu Qing was about to leave, but Lu Yu quickly stopped her. Dean Mu, it's not necessary. I still have some time on me. I came to tell you that I am still alive. I see, then okay, I won't keep you any longer. Mu Qing looked a little regretful. Lu Yu didn't say much about this. After leaving here, he quickly found the palace where he used to live according to the address given by Mu Qing. Before he got close, he heard the sound of playfulness coming from inside. When he opened the door, he saw Lu Ling and a little girl lying together, not knowing what they were looking at. Huh? Lu Yu. Lu Yu also hesitated for a moment. Dorolala. Ah. Lu Yu, you haven't come to see me for a long time. You have forgotten me. Dorolala ran towards Lu Yu barefoot, her eyes full of tears. After not seeing her for a year, the little Lolita has become more and more stunning. The baby fat on her cheeks has faded a lot, and she is less silly and cute, and more lovely. Seeing this, Lu Yu was also full of emotion. It's been a long time since we last met. Yes, brother, it's been a long time since we last met. Lu Ling stood beside him, looking at Lu Yu with an unhappy face. You promised to send me off, but you broke your promise again. Xiaoling, this is indeed my brother's fault. Lu Yu admitted his mistake honestly. Seeing this, Lu Ling wanted to get angry, but couldn't find a place to get angry. It was okay this time, and he came back not long after. Yeah, I'll do the same next time, Lu Yu said with a guilty conscience. Lu Ling didn't know this, and she smiled happily again. Brother, I'm telling you, Duolala has missed you for a long time. Yes, Lu Yu, I want to eat big fried dough sticks. Duolala pulled Lu Yu's sleeve, her mouth sparkling. Seeing this, Lu Yu touched her head. Don't worry, brother, Lu Yu has plenty of big fried dough sticks. As he said this, Lu Yu walked into the kitchen and got busy. After a while, a pot of fried dough sticks was brought up. Looking at Duolala, who was eating happily, Lu Yu also smiled happily. Lu Ling gathered beside Lu Yu, looking puzzled. Brother, why do I always feel that you are in a weird state today? Weird? No, Lu Yu said with a smile. Seeing this, Lu Ling spread his hands. I don't know about that. Looking at Lu Ling, who started to fight with Duolala for fried dough sticks, Lu Yu rubbed her head. Brother is leaving again this time. How long? Not long. Oh, then you'd better come back soon. Lu Ling was used to Lu Yu saying this to him, so he didn't turn his head back. Taking a deep breath, Lu Yu stood up and wanted to leave. But after thinking about it, he gave Lu Ling a mirror. Brother, what is this? Protective mirror, don't lose it, keep it close to you. Oh, okay, brother, have a safe journey, Lu Ling said with a smile. Seeing this, Lu Yu nodded and walked out. The moment he pushed the door out, his heart was as calm as water. The mirror is the Shenxiao mirror. Something left by the moon god heaven. Leave it to Xiaoling, just as a bodyguard. In fact, Lu Yu had some guesses about Xiaoling's true identity a long time ago. It's just that he has been denying it in his heart. I hope it's not. Lu Yu said to himself. After going out, Lu Yu wanted to leave directly, but he saw an acquaintance. Hongfei. So you are not dead. Hongfei looked at Lu Yu calmly, her red dress was like blood. Lu Yu was silent for a while and nodded. Not dead. That's good, I'll wait for you to enter Giwan. After saying that, Hongfei didn't look at Lu Yu again and walked into the palace. This feeling made Lu Yu feel complicated. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 650. This girl, is she still playing high and cold with me? Humph, wait a few days, when you know how much I sacrificed for the entire universe, you will cry. Lu Yu felt relieved and walked away. In the next 2 days, Lu Yu went to the Galaxy Palace and Daqiao Leiju. Lu Yu did not reveal too much about Lan Mingzi and Daqiao Leiju, just briefly said something and left. Only the 10th generation God-given queen, Lu Yu gave a few more words and left. Then Lu Yu went to Blue Star. He visited Luo Sha, Wang Chongming, Lu Yushan, Zhou Qianzu, etc., all of them once. He also met Li Yu. Brother Li, I'm leaving. Ha ha ha, Lu Yu will come again if he has the chance. No problem. At the gate of the first martial arts school, Lu Yu bid farewell to Li Yu. The first encounter with Li Yu was where he started in this world. Therefore, Lu Yu gave Li Yu a lot of cultivation resources. Lu Yu transferred all the resources that the lord of the territory promised to him to Lord Yan. At this point, Lu Yu had nothing to worry about. Old man, can you promise me a request? What request? The old man appeared at some point. Lu Yu's eyes were calm. If I really did that thing, if someone attacked someone around me, you would help take them all away, okay? Zzz, I didn't expect that you would have such courage. The old man looked surprised. Lu Yu was silent for a moment. You have to have it even if you don't have it? You have to have it even if you don't have it? If you don't do it, you will be wiped out. If you do it, everyone can live. Hearing this, the old man fell silent. After a moment, he smiled. But, you have this courage, and I have it too. At most, I can get involved in the cause and effect. Thank you, old man, I'm relieved. After that, Lu Yu got on the wooden boat and headed towards the Winghorn supercluster. Right or wrong, success or failure, this is a gamble. This genius, this time I'm really going to illuminate the entire universe. Chapter 0492 Heading to the Black Hole, that's almost enough. Winghorn Supercluster. In the darkness, a wooden boat approached here. Lu Yu looked at the black hole in front of him that was almost terrifying beyond imagination, and let out a long breath. Here we are. Now, this place can't be called the Winghorn Supercluster. It should be called the Winghorn Super Black Hole. At least, Lu Yu thinks so. All light does not exist here, the black hole swallows everything. Even photons are their target. It is completely inconsistent with the rules of the universe, because they are not the product of the rules. At the edge of the black hole, Lu Yu waited at ease. He didn't know when the death fight would start, all he could do was wait. In the chaos, Lu Yu only felt that he had lost his sense of time. It was dark all around, and only the strong suction reminded him. Time is still flowing. Finally, a ray of light appeared in the distant universe. That was the birth of a huge arena. Yuan Xiao's Dharma image condensed with power. Around the ring, there were one after another general domain masters, and the geniuses behind them. These geniuses were cultivated by them, and their faces looked extremely pale at the moment. After condensing the ring, Yuan Xiao looked into the distance. Whose disciple is this? Yuan Xiao was talking about Lu Yu. With his strength, it was easy to sense Lu Yu's existence. Many general domain masters looked over and shook their heads. Only the general domain master of the super galaxy cluster suddenly narrowed his eyes. My lord, this is from our domain in the end, he could only say so. Yuan Xiao narrowed his eyes and didn't want to pay attention. But what he didn't expect was that Lu Yu approached by himself. I came to watch the fight and won't hinder your fight, Lu Yu smiled. Yuan Xiao frowned when he heard this, but didn't say much. Watch if you want to. He who can come here must know the truth. Maybe he is from the Zero Association? I can't control it. Yuan Xiao didn't say anything, and the other general domain masters didn't say anything either. Lu Yu came to the general domain master of his super galaxy cluster and patted his shoulder. General domain master, how is the situation? How is the situation? Are you unsure? The general domain master didn't have a good tone. He didn't expect Lu Yu to come. But it seemed reasonable. After all, his master was not simple. Lu Yu smiled and said nothing about this, but looked around. There were a total of 20 geniuses. Lu Yu had never seen these geniuses before. I think they should be some hidden geniuses. Lu Yu thought so. It was just a pity for him. None of these geniuses at the Star Master level stepped into the Forbidden Realm. Damn. This genius is indeed the son of destiny, born to meet the calamity. This matter must be done by me. Gan. Lu Yu silently complained in his heart and looked for Yu Yu's figure. Very good, he didn't come. Became a deserter? Just as Lu Yu was thinking this, a white light appeared in the distance. There was a loud bang in the sky, and I made a brilliant appearance. Yu Yu landed in a coquettish posture, and before he could even lift his hair, he was stunned when he saw Lu Yu. Phoenix, Phoenix child. Yu Yu was stunned, and then surprised. You are indeed my good brother, and you really came to see me off. Remember, when I die, please leave me a complete body.